Hi, it's Hope and welcome to the video. As you can tell by the title and the thumbnail, this is going to be my February wrap-up, which, yes, I know it's already like the middle of the month. I am just recovering from a sickness. Therefore, I did not feel like filming at all the last week, honestly. So you're getting this now. So I'm just going to talk about the 4 books that I read in February, a little bit about them, my thoughts, and all that. This is going to be pretty quick because, again, there's only 4 books. So let's just start off with the first book I read in February, which is Us, Etc. by Kit Vincent. We are basically following Eek and Kip, and they basically are 2 AI robots that are employed by this family, and the 2 of them kind of slowly rebel against the family and what the AIs typically are, aka they kind of grow a conscience of their own and their own ability to be like you and me and have actual thoughts beyond what they're programmed to and all of that. And it's just the 2 of them kind of navigating that aspect with also being in a really crappy family who it's just not the best. But this I decently enjoyed. I gave it a 3.5. It didn't blow me away, but it wasn't bad. It was just, I just didn't vibe with the characters as much as I wanted to. And it was definitely it was very character driven. And while sometimes I like that, I just have to be in love with the characters to love a character-driven book. I need if I don't love the characters, I need there to be a decent plot, and the plot didn't really pick up until the last quarter of the book, and even then it became very rushed. So that's kind of just why I gave it a 3.5. I would recommend it, but I wouldn't reread it, and it just wasn't a favorite. Next is House of Sky and Breath by Sarah J. Maas, which is the first book in the Crescent City series, where basically, if you do not know what this is about, are you living under a rock? But this basically, we follow a half-fae Bryce Quinlan, who 2 years prior, her best friend got murdered, and now we're 2 years later, and there is an investigation that might be linked to her friend's murders, and she's asked to help. And because it is a very dangerous assignment, she is given a bodyguard in the form of Hunt Athalar, who is an angel, and it is the 2 of them kind of solving this mystery while also other things are being unraveled. And I love this series. I literally just finished my reread of the 2nd book last night, so this is a 5 stars. It was a 5-star when I read it the first time, when I read it the 2nd time, and this is now my 3rd time reading it, and I love it. I just love the characters, the world, honestly, the size of the book, that's the only thing I don't like, but I'm I get why it's all needed, and overall, just everything to do with this book and this world I love, so it's 5 stars. This book I think will always be a 5 star. Is it my favorite Sarah J. Maas book? Absolutely not, but still 5 stars. The next book is God of Malice by Rena Kent, which is the first book in the Legacy of God series, which is a dark romance series set in university. And in this, basically, we are following Killian and Glyndon. I don't know if that's how her name is pronounced. That's just how I think it is. But they basically are kind of polar opposites. They go to these 2 rivaling universities. Killian is in medical school, and Glyndon is more of an arts major, and they very much are polar opposites. But after their paths cross, they kind of realize that they can't get enough of each other, even though she doesn't want anything to do with him. He wants everything to do with her, but she caves in because of realizing that even though she doesn't want him, she wants him, if that makes any sense. And it is very dark. There is underlying tones of mafia and gangs and secret societies and murder and violence and very questionable acts, but I really enjoyed it. I gave it 4 stars. I kind of read this just out on a whim because I know it was very popular on Book Talk like 2021-ish, but I just never read it. And then for some reason I was like, I just want a dark romance, and this is what I ended up reading, and I really enjoyed it. So yeah, I don't really have that many thoughts, except I loved exploring the like friendships between like Killian and his friends and Glyndon. Again, I can never fucking pronounce her name. Blah. And her friends, and I kind of already see how the future books are gonna go, because each book in the series is following a different couple, where it's like either one person from one friend group and one person from the other, or kind of like that. And so it's like, I'm very excited to see how that is going to mesh and like add to that, because I already can, I think, pinpoint the couple, so that's good. But I really enjoyed it, and I'm excited to continue the series. And then the final book that I read in February is Where's Molly by H.D. Carlton. This one I've been so excited for. So when it was released, I think I read it like a couple days later because I was in the middle of God of Malice, and so I was like, okay, I'm gonna finish that and then I'm gonna jump into Where's Molly. But I really enjoyed it. This basically, we follow Molly, who when she was 18 or 19, I believe, she got essentially sold into the sex trafficking ring. About a year later, she escaped and tried to start a new life, ultimately failed, tried to start a new life, and then for some reason, I know the reason, I'm not saying what, moved back to a similar area of where she was from to kind of try to have a new start, just to be closer to people that she does care about, even though they don't know who she is. And by doing so, she ends up in a very questionable situation where she basically disposes of bodies in a very interesting way. And then we're also following Kane, who is the person who helped Molly get a new life and then ultimately cross paths with her again. And it's kind of a second chance romance, and you're kind of seeing 2 different timelines. You're seeing the present, and then at various different points in Molly's past as she's going through the events of her life. And I love the way it was told. I ultimately gave it a 4 star because I felt like it could have been longer and just a little bit more detailed, but I did like it. I really like Molly and Kane. I'm like, I'm speechless thinking about some scenes. I love their chemistry and the way that it was like they were meant to be. It just took 2 chances. It took them crossing paths again, and just overall that spark that they once had in a one-night stand that was full of passion, they both held on to for almost a decade, and just it re-sparked again when they re-met, and it's just so nice. And I will say, you don't need to read Haunting Adeline and Hunting Adeline to read Where's Molly, because they are in the same world. You see a couple characters from Haunting and Hunting Adeline in Where's Molly, and Molly is mentioned in Hunting Adeline, I believe. And so it's kind of like, you know a bit about Molly if you've read those, but if you haven't, it's still fine. Like, you don't need to know anything really about like Haunting or Hunting Adeline to read Where's Molly. So I just wanted to add that little like thing, because a lot of people think, oh, you need to read Haunting or Haunting and Hunting Adeline to read Where's Molly. That is not the case, just to let you know. But I gave it 4 stars. I liked it. I didn't love it as much as the other H.D. Carlton books that I've read, but it still is a good book. So those were the 4 books that I read in February. Why don't you let me know in the comments below what is your favorite book that you read in February? I'd really like to know. But Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe as it really helps my channel grow, and I hope to see you in my next video. Bye!